The first vision for the school didn't arrive in the local community at all. It actually began at St Peter's Lutheran College at Indooroopilly. The college was having considerable enrolment pressures. They wanted to continue to serve Lutherans who wanted to attend the college, but more and more of those people weren't able to afford boarding fees. And so the idea was raised by two people basically, Cosijn, John, the headmaster, and Pastor Wendell Dahl from the College Council, of establishing a Lutheran secondary school on the south side of Brisbane so that families who couldn't have their students board would be able to send them as day students.
I remember it really as just a big farm with a few buildings, and we felt like we were building it as we went, even though we were only the kids. And we felt like we had a lot of freedom, I think, because it was so small and everybody knew everybody. So it was really nice like that.
I remember parents coming to visit me in my office at St Peter's at the end of November saying, "You assured us that the school would not have open plan classrooms, but we've just been there and there are no walls." And I had to assure them that there would certainly be walls. And it was so close that on the day of the official opening of the college, I don't know how many other people were aware of it. I could still hear drills and hammering as they put up the whiteboard in the art room. So it was very, very close.
I had a great experience here when I was growing up. The Christian ethos, the environment that's here, the size of the school, you feel like you know everyone. And I think it's a really good environment to have your children in.
The feel of the school is still very warm and inviting and feels like a community. And that's what it was when we were here, because there was so few of us. It was a family. And I think that warm family community feel is still evident in the school, no matter what buildings and technology are here.
One thing I remember is every morning as we went to chapel, we had our chapel in concrete floored A block, and all the students had to take their hymnals and their green and blue songbooks, and we had singing every day, and that's something that's a bit different.
I wanted a worship area that was dedicated first and foremost to being a worship area. We owe our best to God. And if we can't provide a worship area that is dedicated to Him and then can also be used to His glory for a whole range of other things, I think we've got our priorities wrong. Certainly that was the way that was my thinking, and the College Council were very generous in going along with me on that.
So I came in 1989 and I just loved it. I thought the school was an amazing oasis of green, and I thought the kids were just so well behaved, so friendly, so polite. I was amazed. I almost felt as though I'd come into a time warp because it was just a magical place. The first day that the middle school opened in 1999 was so exciting. The students who came in had a real sense that they were making history. They were the first of hopefully many, many years of middle school kids who would come to this school.
I think the similarities between when I was here and when my kids went through and even now is that it's seen as a community, and everybody knows that we're a community that wants to care about the whole person, and that's why it was so important for me, because it was a Christian environment, but it's a community where everyone's trying to look out for each other, and that was the same when I started and same when my kids came through, and I think we're still trying to keep that going right now and keep it in the front of everybody's minds. It's a community and we're here together.
It's good to remember the parents, like our parents. It was quite courageous of them to commit to an unknown and commit to a school that was new and didn't have all the facilities that other schools had, and then additionally there was that unknown about whether it was going to be ready.
I guess the dream that I had when we opened the doors in 1980 still holds good. I would like this to be a school where students and teachers and the students' families can experience the love of God, and in 100 years' time it will continue to be a place that strives for excellence, for the very best that people can achieve. I was really proud when the students chose the wording on the very first inter-school banner. It said, "Redeemer Lutheran College, 100% effort." That was a student-generated motto, and I'd like that to continue. At whatever level they may be in their skills, in their potential, to give it 100% effort and to achieve that, and to achieve it in an environment where they experience the love of God.
There always was a thought that, well, the school is incomplete until we had a junior school. There were a couple of things which convinced me that we ought to move into it now rather than later. The first was that I'd actually come from a Peter XII college, and I saw the advantages of the one-stop shop for the whole family, of the seamless curriculum where you could develop it from, prep way up to year 12, and the ethos of the school, that you didn't have to break in kids when they came here in grade 6 or 7 or 8, whenever they started here, but you had them develop the ethos and the values and beliefs of the school through the student body in an earlier age. And let's face it, most of the competitor schools in the area were Peter XII schools.
So when the junior school started, it felt like we went back in time. So even though the senior school and the middle school had heaps, we were like starting again like in my day. And so we had demountable buildings and very few resources, and people would bring things in from home and say, I found this drawer we can use. And we'd just get so excited about anything new that we got. And any of the furniture we had to unwrap and put it together ourselves. And we were exhausted, but we were so excited because we felt like we were the pioneers. We were starting it all, and I insisted on bringing my younger kids over at that stage because I was like, we've got to be there at the beginning.
My first impression was the beauty of the grounds. It created a sense that you could come and relax and enjoy the space.
I spent 13 years at Redeemer, all the way from junior school, so seeing the junior school develop was incredible. I started out with demountables. It was like a kind of U shape. That was it. It was just like barren dirt. It had a sandbox, but we didn't get a playground until like a year and a half later. So it was crazy, just going from that to what it is today. There's like so many buildings everywhere. We got the MPC, grade 3, and that was like massive for us. We actually got proper classrooms, and like a place to play.
The wonderful thing about the junior school was that even though not all the facilities were in place because of problems we had, there was a great take-up of places very quickly. We built it and they came.
So when we had kids and we talked about high schools, my husband hated school, and I said to him, I loved high school, the kids are going to my high school. And so he said, yeah, fine. And I think from the beginning they knew that I felt passionate about it and I loved it. And there were still teachers here that had taught me when my older two started. And so that was kind of fun for them, and they'd get comments from the teachers. But they also then made their own way, and it felt more like their school by the time they'd finished.
As the college changed over the 8 years I was here to become a Peter XII school, I'm very aware that Mr. Kleinschmidt intended for Redeemer to have an outdoor education program that certainly mirrored the educational philosophies of St. Peter's Lutheran College and its Ironbark program. It was also tradition in Lutheran schools that there be a healthy camp program.
The outdoor education experience with Touch Koi, that was like a big experience for me. So Touch Koi is like a 1-month outdoor experience where grade 9s get to go away, basically into the middle of nowhere, and just get a real experience of outdoors, of a little bit of responsibility as well. We go on hikes, do different adventure type things like rock climbing, abseiling, and it was just really nice to get away. No technology, washing your own clothes, making your own meals as well, especially as a 14-year-old.
The thing that I would really hope continues here at Redeemer, which has been a strong tradition here, is that it maintains its strong Christian ethos. I have a great deal of hope for our kids because that particular ethos is still part of this college and will be into the future, I'm sure.
I certainly look forward to seeing how Redeemer continues to flourish and bring good things to the people of this part of Brisbane.
I remember us driving down Miles Padding Road and seeing some fairly open space around the school at that point with a small amount of development happening on the side, and then pulling into the grounds and realising just how big the college grounds are.
As I reflect on the college, one of the things that stands out, I think, is our beautiful campus. We often hear people referring to us as the college and the garden, and I think that's a real gift and something that as we master plan for the future, we're conscious of capitalising on. We've got a great space, the benefit of an open campus with land to build on and to grow forth.
I've asked parents, what do you know of this college that has encouraged you to come here? The most popular answer has always been, it's a caring place. And I hope that for the whole life of the college it remains a caring place, and that we recognise that that care is based on our faith in Jesus Christ.
The one thing that I hope never changes is how student-oriented the teachers are, and like the whole community. They're very focused on making bonds with students and genuinely caring about them. I've rarely come across a student who's ever felt that they don't at least have one teacher that they could go to.
I'd love to see the school stay the community and smaller side of the school that it is. You feel like you know everyone, and I think it's a really good environment to have your children in, and I think that's really important, and that's what I've found important post-school.
So this year we are launching our new purpose statement for the college, which is that we're empowering curious, courageous, Christ-led learners who co-create and serve God's world. For us, that means everyone in our community, that we're all here to contribute, that we're all lifelong learners, and that whether it's through our profession, through our private life, or our work with charities, God is calling us to assist him in the work that he's doing. We believe in a hopeful world here at Redeemer. It's not for naught that our tradition includes our hope is in Christ.
So my advice for future students would be to get in to all the co-curriculars, all the extra opportunities provided to you, like the Tasmania tour, like Binger, and just the sport in particular for me has been a huge part of my life, and getting that sense of community with all those people, meeting new people in different grades is something that I highly, highly recommend.
I think one thing that I hope never changes about Redeemer is the emphasis on grace. We are front and centre a school in the Lutheran tradition, and maintaining what it means to be a Christian school in a secular context is something that we will preserve.
I hope that we will continue to be a Lutheran lighthouse in our community, that our reach beyond our gates is not for personal glory but for actually to do God's work and assist, that we walk alongside of people, that we meet people where they are, that we continue to share our light past even our national shores with international connections, and that's a true partnership with other people, that we learn as much from them as they ever will learn from us. And I think if our students and our staff continue to keep that strong faith tradition and foundation there, then whatever the world throws at us for the future, I still hold on to the fact that it's a hopeful future. These are the best educated young people that have ever existed in the history of the planet. And they are amazing at what they will do and how they cooperate together to help solve some of the big problems that our world is experiencing. Redeemer will have a small part of that.
The culture at Redeemer is to get everyone involved, and I have found that it's really shaped me into who I am, and I would encourage every student coming to Redeemer to do the same and get involved in as much as possible.
It's hard to even imagine what the future holds. When I think about the students who will come to this college, not just in the next 5 years, but 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, I hope that they will take away with them a sense of the values of the college.
Where will Redeemer Lutheran College go? What will it be in the future? I'd like to think that it will be a continuation of the best of what we've been able to achieve in the past.